What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kitchen Court Cases, where we watch court in my kitchen. Let's go to Kansas and take a look at some hearings that seem to be happening. I don't know what's happening. Let's figure it out together, shall we?
Miss Pam, I wanted to thank you again for all of your amazing behind the scenes and on camera help. Your filing system made it fairly easily possible to find Mr. Bellevue's case, and it looks like he was last scheduled to be here on March 10th. When he did not appear, there was a application of an earlier posted bond to the case, and a new warrant was issued with a $1,000 cash only bond. And I guess if he's in custody in Greenwood County, it could be the case that he's there on our warrant. Counsel, do you have anything in your paperwork that might show anything in addition to that?
I did not judge other than a return of service on the warrant
Okay.
executed by Sedgwick County.
Oh, wait, so he's in Sedgwick County, or is he in?
He may have been, it was March 25, I think, arrests. So they may have picked him up and transported him if he couldn't make bond.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
you may not have the current dockets with your papers because I didn't know to print them.
Right. Well, I think let's go ahead and since he's in custody and presumably with officers needing to assist him, let's go ahead and bring that case in first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Greenwood County, could you please unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Are you Mr. Bellevue?
Yes.
All right. We are on the record in state of Kansas on behalf of the Secretary of Social and Rehabilitation Services et al. Versus Sean Bellevue et al. The case number is Greenwood County 09DM 028. The DCF appears by and through Mr. Getz. Mr. Bellevue appears in person, in custody, and pro se. This matter was last on this court's docket last month on March 10, when Mr. Bellevue did not appear.
I was in court.
Well, were you in court on this case?
Yeah, I was on court on March 10th, and y'all told me this was over with.
Well, I'm wondering if you might be getting confused with a different case. I certainly am less than perfect, and I'll be the first to concede that. And at the same time, my notes were that you did not appear, and that a bond from an earlier case was applied, and that $1,000 cash only bond was issued in this case.
Yeah, because I even got a letter like 2 weeks after I was in court saying something about, well, we sent some money to the bond for something, and then I called to see what was going on, and then they said something about there wasn't no warrant issued. I'm like, why would there be a warrant issued? I was in court, and they said it was over, and that was the last I knew.
Well, like I said, I am capable of making a mistake, but I try pretty carefully to make accurate notes on these docket sheets, and I don't.
I've never missed a court
would
date.
have been that badly out of shape. I mean, I guess we can get the video from that date and see if you were indeed in court. I can't do that right now. I guess, are you currently still on the bond for the warrant in this case, or still on the warrant rather?
Yeah, they said I had $1,000 cash bond.
That's what I had ordered. That's correct.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything that you would like to advise the court of today, in addition to just your belief that you
Well,
were?
I'm trying to figure out still why this case is being brought back up after it was closed 10 years ago. It was closed and sealed 10 years ago.
Well, this case, I'm just looking at a kind of a brief review of the docket sheet, and you were here in March of 2022 and June of 2022. Actually, you failed to appear that day a warrant was issued. You were here on October 14th of 22 in person. You were, let's see.
Well, see, there was another
You did
attorney
not-
that
you did
there
not
was another
appear.
attorney that tried to come after this too. His name was Strokamp, Audie Strokamp. And I brought in paperwork. This was in 2019. And I brought in paperwork and I went in front of the judge then. And the judge said, well, there's nothing we can do further with this case. And then now it's being brought back up again in 2022. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on because the case was sealed. The kid went into foster care. And the judge told me as long as I sign my rights away and he seals the case, they can't come after me for rears, period. And that's what this is about.
Well, I don't know that whomever was the judge in that earlier case you're talking about, I don't have any documents that confirm what you're trying to explain. Like I said, I know that when you're talking about different cases, and I have a note that you had indicated that had happened in Sedgwick County. Is that the case you're talking about?
Yeah, it was, but it was for here, but they would not see the case again here. So they set it up to have it done in Wichita at the child custody court down there in Wichita. And when I got there, the judge said, well, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to have you sign your rights away. I'm going to seal this case. That way they can't come after you on rears or anything on it. And then it's going to be done and over with. And that was the last I knew. And that was in 2014. And then I didn't hear anything about it until 2019 when Audie Strokamp, which was one of you guys' state's attorney, tried to bring it back up again. And then me and my wife brought paperwork up after he tried to put a warrant for my arrest for no reason at all. And I brought up the paperwork and the judge said right then and there, well, we can't do nothing with this case. It was sealed. It's already done and over with. And that's why I'm trying to figure out, why are you guys trying to bring it back up again after all these years? I mean, I don't get it. It's all done and sealed. It's a sealed case. I mean, I'm not an idiot when it comes to the law or nothing like that. I mean, I know my law pretty well, but I mean, last time I checked, when a case is sealed, it can't be unsealed and brought back up again. I mean,
I'm not sure exactly if I'm understanding what you're trying to say about the nature of the case.
the law states.
Wait, just a second. Mr. Getz, is there any opinion or any suggestion from DCF as to how to go forward from here?
Well, Judge, my notes from our hearing, I think it was in November, and it was Mr. Regier that was here at the time. Actually, it would have been December 9th. Mr. Bellevue made these same accusations that the case was sealed, that he didn't know anything of that nature. The court at that point in time gave him a deadline to produce the documentation and gave us a chance, a period after that to respond. No documentation's been generated to us to show, to validate his claim that anything's been sealed.
And I
Yes,
said,
correct. Sir, I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah, please, Mr. Bellevue, let him finish, then I will give you a
Okay.
chance to be heard. I'm just trying to understand from DCF's perspective what they think is the best way forward, and then you can tell me yours.
okay.
So Judge, yes, a child in need of care case, a foster care case can be sealed. This is not a foster care case. This is a domestic obligation that arose for the period of time that the child was in out-of-home placement. My suggestion at this point in time is to appoint counsel to represent Mr. Bellevue, somebody who can perhaps file something to get into the child needed care case and generate any documents that may corroborate what he's telling us here today. The state then would appreciate an opportunity to be able to reply in writing. But I think ultimately what we're going to find out is that this debt is still a valid debt. And at that point in time, I do intend to move forward with this contempt citation.
Okay. What I would like to do, Mr. Bellevue, are you in a position where you can afford counsel, or would you want to apply for counsel to assist you with the case?
No, I didn't know. Nobody told me I needed counsel for this case because I had paperwork. I had paperwork backed up here for this case.
Well, if you have paperwork that you would like to, I mean, Mr. Getz has indicated a willingness to consider that paperwork. And if it corroborates what you're saying, it might result in this matter being, as you had hoped it would be, set aside. And if you'd like an opportunity to get that paperwork in,
yeah, I even had sent the paperwork to child support because I remember when you guys confronted me about this case, I couldn't find the paperwork from the previous attorney, and then I ended up finding it.
Okay, well, let's do this. I am going to set a date certain when I'll need you to be here. You can appear by Zoom. I am going to let you sign your own bond to be here on May 12, 2023 at, and this is a Greenwood County, yes, at 2:00 in the afternoon, May 12, 2023 at 2. I'm hoping that will give you plenty of time to email whatever documents you think are relevant.
Yeah, I got all the documents and everything for it. I just got it. I found everything. So, I mean, I already sent it to child support. That's why I'm surprised they haven't sent it to you guys yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I faxed all that stuff.
Okay. Well, if you would please fax that to Mr. Getz, and do you have a copy of any of the pleadings in the case? There's an email address on that is in the upper left-hand corner where Mr. Getz contact information is listed, but I don't know if you have one of those documents.
No, I do. It's probably at my house somewhere.
Okay. Well, if you have something, or if you could ask the jailer there to make available for you something to write with, I can give this to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hutchinson, HUTCHINSON, Hutchinson at ywcss.com. Hutchinson at ywcss.com. And I might ask you just to send a test message just to make sure you're getting it to the correct place. And then if you
YW what?
Okay, so it's Hutchinson, HUTCHINSON at ywcss.com.
Okay, got it. Hutchinson at ywcss.com.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you'll get that in as quickly as is possible, we'll look forward to seeing you on May the 12th at 2:00, and you'll be able to use the same meeting ID and password that you've used today to come in by Zoom that day.
All right. Am I released today from
I'm
here?
ordering that you be allowed to sign your own bond. You're guaranteeing your own appearance at that next hearing date. Okay. All right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you then.
1,000 OR, Judge?
Correct.
Okay.
And thank you so much for making Mr. Bellevue available. I did not know he was in your custody, and I'm grateful for your having made that happen.
I do have another question. I received a call, this was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, about another inmate we have here that had court today. Sometime between now and then, the email has disappeared.
Okay.
That was
What is-
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, I believe he is on our docket at 3 o'clock. Do you have him available?
So I have a different court case at 3 o'clock.
Yes, for Mr. Johnson.
No, for another inmate, we only have one Zoom. We
I-
only have the ability to have one inmate on a Zoom at the same time.
I have Johnson at 2 o'clock.